RPI rankings, and they had a rocky road to get here. Literally, there was a big traffic jam on their way up from Nashville, just south of Bowling Green. Nowhere to turn off. They lost 40 minutes, and normally they go and dine in at a restaurant. They're going to Outback, but they had to pick it up, change of pace. They had to do the takeout from the curb and drive it on up here. So not the easiest stretch into Louisville today.
Well, and I'll be interested to see how that affects the players, because you have your routines, you have exactly what you want to do, and when things get thrown off, sometimes it can affect you a bit. So how quickly is Belmont able to kind of brush that off and start strong, and so far looking pretty good?
That's Brad Dildy, the captain for Belmont. They've got a couple of them. Him and Dylan Steely, who is along the defensive line, just got the ball right now. He was their all-conference member. He was second-team all-conference a year ago. You can imagine that Belmont might have a couple more all-Missouri Valley by the end of the season. Currently sitting second in the Valley standings behind future Louisville foe Evansville. Forbes back on familiar territory. He was a big role in the last tournament team for Louisville, playing in 19 matches, starting 10 of them. A little casual there by Ogunlia.
I'm Belmont. I'm also trying to use the sun to my advantage. Right now the sun is setting behind the Belmont goalkeeper there. So it's right in the eyes of the Louisville goalkeeper in the Louisville back line. So if I'm Belmont, seeing if I can use that to my advantage a little bit.
Ball too far in front of the on-rushing Wilson. There's John Michael Hayden, but he doesn't go by that. He goes by JMH. And he's been trying to figure out the right pieces of late. In the last match against North Carolina, he said that he told the team they were all on the same page. They needed to come out with intensity, and they didn't. So hence the change of lineup today.
I mean, it's tough. There's still a really, really young squad, so they're still trying to figure out their kinks. But you've got to put it together if you want to be able to have, you know, a run at the end of the season. And so they're beginning to run out of time here, but already a better start than last season. And just to think, if this team is so young right now, what are they going to do when these youngsters are going to be upperclassmen coming up in the next couple years?
Yeah, to your point, the majority of the team are underclassmen, Casey, which gives you reason for optimism, reason for hope, but 27 or 75% of the team, 21 players, are freshmen or juniors. And that was Wilson trying to initiate the attack, and here comes our first corner kick of the game for either team.
Great opportunity here for the Cards to see if they can get their first look on target. Again, it's going to be difficult because Belmont, like you said, is very, very tall. So they're really going to have a hard time of trying to navigate the height there in the middle.
Belmont has allowed 6 in total shots on goal over the last 4 matches. So Grant Calvert, their experienced goalie, hasn't had to be tested too much. Can Louisville apply that test today? Punched away initially. Jack Lewis will hoist it back on. Easy pickings for Calvert.
Not a bad set piece there. The Cards are trying to pull a lot of the attacking players out, which is why they're starting higher up the field. So what that is doing is it's not clogging the middle of the space, and they're hoping to beat the foot race of getting to the spot first instead of allowing the height of Belmont to establish themselves.
And not able to win the foot race that time. That was Paul Nielsen. Just trying to zoom up the pitch. Noah DeBlasis. Jack Lewis. Ogunlia. TJ Kaho'ali'i feeds it back to DeBlasis. Kaho'ali'i, one of 2 sophomore captains to further illustrate the age for this Louisville team. They got 3 captains, 2 of them sophomores. Alex Fetnoff, the goalie, is the 3rd, and he's been around the block a few times. One of the rare true seniors on the team. There is David Costa, the head coach for Belmont. He's coached in the ACC. He's coached all around. He's in his 7th year at Belmont, and he's got the Bruins off to their best start in program history. Kaho'ali'i. And we'll go to Belmont. One issue, Casey, for Louisville to navigate today. Second game in a row. No Ryan Quintos, who had played every minute of the season up until last match, but not having him. What's his absence mean for this Cardinal team?
I think it really hurts them, and I think we saw it in their previous matchup against North Carolina, just how much it hurt having that leadership presence across the back. He is a very pivotal role in that defensive shape. Now, Jack Boring has slid over, and it's given Nicholas Parham the opportunity to start there on the right side, but not having Quintos, I think, hurts them a little bit in the back line.
And they're attacking where Quintos would have been. Brought back out to Clothier. Slices it on, headed away by Jack Boring. They got two Jacks on the defensive half of the field for Louisville. Jack Boring goes by JB, Jack Lewis, just Jack. Clothier trying to work it around the freshman, Quentin Wilson. Here's Jimmy Mark. Agunlia able to win the tug of war, and it's a goal kick for Louisville.
Excellent defending there from Agunlia, just waiting for that touch to get too far ahead and then stepping in and establishing that space. That is very, very, very well done.
Going to opt to build casually out of the back. DeBlasis to Agunlia. Here's one of the new starters today, Leon Kondic, the sophomore from Slovenia, getting his first start of the year. He played in every other match, all off the bench. Griffin Moore for Belmont, number 4 in red. And it's that portion of the field, Casey, that Louisville struggled with last game against North Carolina. Last month, really, just connecting passes up at the top.
Yeah, their play in the final third has not been as sharp as it needs to be in order to execute and get the results that they need. In the first part of the season, it felt like that was going to be their strength. And after the first few games, it's just kind of started to dwindle. So they need to figure out how to get that rhythm going, how to begin to connect a bit more and see more success there.
And that's one of the players that needs to get going, Chase Vasquez, who started the year off on a blazing pace, 3 goals. And his last one was on September 9th, the win at Ohio State. Since then, largely, he's been quiet. Where are you looking, Casey?
This has got to go to the back post, I think.
You think correctly, but it's headed away by the Giants of Belmont. It'll be awarded to the Bruins.
Just the ball caught a little bit too high there on Kaho'ali'i and hit his arm, so it was going to be a handball there. A bit unfortunate because I think he was able to get a nice touch there and would have set up for a beautiful shot.
Bildy feeds it back to Griffin Moore. Skied out of play for a Louisville throw-in. Parham. DeBlasis. Agunlia. Lewis. Jack Lewis very comfortable in traffic. Fielding the ball. Quentin Wilson, look at that pass. Kaho'ali'i left out wide for the sprinting Parham. Firm touch by Kaho'ali'i. And a almost play for Louisville. They need to turn the potential plays into the actual.
Yeah, and it started off with a great ball from Kaho'ali'i to find Parham there on the right side. I think right now Louisville's problem is there's not enough movement up top offensively. Right now players are just running in their lanes and staying in their lanes, so it's a very vertical look right now. And if you play very vertical, it's going to be hard to beat a back line because you're very easy to mark. So what I would like to see from the Cards is a little bit more dynamic movement. Can we see some interchange between those front 3 players, some diagonal runs, checking back, just more more movement up top, and that's going to force the back line of Belmont to have to track and defend a little bit more, and that's then going to open up the gaps that's going to lead to the success going forward.
There's a story of 2 seasons there, Casey. The pristine start for Louisville and the challenging last stretch since September began.
It's been a rough go-about for the Cards since the start of the season. And I think a lot of it comes to being young, and you start on such a high that you're playing your best soccer, and then something doesn't go your way, and it just kind of snowballs after that. So now it's really comes to the mental game of, can they get over that, and can they figure out how to break almost the curse right now for them?
Yeah, just clouds over the program in that sense. Of they had the high of beating #1 Stanford. A game that was played at it was like 7 in the morning Pacific time. It was at 11. But that just elation, then go to Columbus, Ohio, and beat the Buckeyes, and then since then. Kondic got an elbow a little high as he was elevating for that header, and it'll be Belmont's ball. Jimmy Mark. Ogunlia got the best of him last time. Now Mark will try it again. Got to watch out for Belmont on those headers. Here's Ethan Schlegel. Cleared out by Boring.
Both teams' back lines have just been rock solid so far. Neither team really allowing any shots at all in the start.
There's Svetnov coming off the line to collect it. This is not a hodgepodge defensive line for Louisville, but it's a group of players that had not played together before this year, and this is a new mixture for them today. Behind Lewis, dangerous ball. Brock Kuiper. Got 12 career goals for Belmont. And then a trip in the box. A foul called no. They're trying to connect that one to Kuiper.
I think that's the right call. As we're going to get another look at it here. It's a nice ball into the box, and I think both players are going for the ball. I don't see anything over the top that would lead to a penalty. I appreciate Kuiper trying to make the most of the contact there, but you got to do. You got to give the effort. You got to try to go down and see if you can draw the foul, especially when he recognizes that he's not going to be able to get on the end of it because the ball was just a little bit too far in front of him for him to be able to reach it and have a look on target. So appreciate the effort there.
He's been a great player, too. He's from the Cincinnati area, Mason, Ohio, to Archbishop Moeller, which is a great sports school. Phenomenal. He had 6 goals 2 years ago, and then last year broke his foot 3 games into the season. He had already had 2 goals, and so having him back, he's been a breath of fresh air. One of 3 Belmont Bruins with 4 goals on the season. Wilson trying to get that one up to Vasquez. Lewis will bring it down to Ogunlia. Kondic has some width. Right foots this one into the middle. Bridge Bossi not able to finish it off. And that's going to be a goal kick. Elijah Bridge-Bossi, one of those players who's really been impressive for Louisville. He just hasn't been able to get that goal yet. He leads the team in shots overall. Only 33% on target as Vasquez pleads his case with our referee, Brandon Marion.
I love the service into the box, though, from Kondic. A little outside of the foot bending action. It's a nice ball there. But like you said, Bridge-Bossi just not able to get on the end of it.
Well, they want to see Kondic more involved. They want to see him coming to get the ball. They want to be able to get it to him. A lot of potential there with the Slovenian. Griffin Moore forces it back up to midfield. It'll be a Louisville throw-in. Free ball, middle of the field. That's Jimmy Mark. He's the flower among the trees of that team.
I'll say I've been very impressed with Belmont so far and their ability to turn the cards over and then just kind of settle in. Like right now, their coach is yelling, now we play, meaning that now they've got possession of the ball, settle in, work it from side to side, and play their style of soccer.
Power forward boxing out there. That's Kuiper. Mark having a hard time with it. Takes a shove from Wilson. Kondich with possession. Wilson, a glancing blow up ahead. And that's guided by the experienced one and Dylan Steely.
There, Vasquez just has to do a better job of staying on sides. He's got to recognize where the ball is and just have a little more spatial awareness because the Cards have not been able to have as many looks on target or chances in the past few games. And so when they do get opportunities, they have to value them a bit more.
And normally Louisville really good at staying onside. They've only had now 11 offsides, which is the second best in the ACC. Only Virginia Tech has been better, and that's who Louisville will have coming up next Saturday, or on this Saturday. Trip down to Blacksburg. DeBlasis. Svetnov. And the flag up again on Vasquez. Wasn't listening.
And see, and that to me right there is unacceptable. You've got to make sure you're aware of where you are. That's just being lazy, not getting back defensively. And to me, again, that's unacceptable.
Now Vasquez, he had some positional challenges, and I don't mean that in that he was struggling. I mean that they had brought in KG Sukati, who was also a 9, and it was a positional battle between him and Vasquez was the Golden Boot winner in the spring, so he had the lead coming in. Sukati looked awfully good at UTRGV, which is University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. But Sukati got hurt, and he's been out since that Ohio State game, and Louisville has not won since.
Yeah, and it's been rough not being able to have depth in that position. That's a very difficult spot to play, and depending on the type of player that you have there, depends on the way your style is going to go. With Vasquez, he's not really a hold the ball up, big target forward. He's more of an intricate play with the ball with his feet, put him into space and let him run. Whereas, other players are a true 9, like I'm going to hold the ball up. So it's going to shift the way the team plays. And when you have competition, when you can change up style also in that position, it leads to, better performances because you have to be competing week in and week out for your starting spot.
And then KG Sukati is more like the man they're trying to get the ball to for Belmont, and Brock Kuiper, who's 6'5". Can Belmont take advantage here in the box? Who's that off of? Belmont.
Bit unfortunate there to give up the goal kick. A little too nonchalant in the box for me, for Belmont. Just needs to be a little bit more authoritative when they have the ball. Seeing if they can play the ball with a little bit more pace instead of playing hospital balls that their team's not able to get on the end of.
And Wilson showing some of that awareness, was offsides, had to break off his run. So easy pickings for Grant Calvert. Now Griffin Moore. Belmont and David Costa really like the combination they have with Griffin Moore and Dylan Steely. They provide contrasting strengths at the center back spots for the Bruins. Parham, here's Bridge Bossy. And the steady placement of Griffin Moore. David Costa really values just his high soccer IQ, and I think you saw it right there. Dildy feeds it in, and Mark just off it.
It's a great ball in the box there. Just that driven ball across the goal face has enough power for Mark to be able to get on the end of it. I love this service. Mark just gets underneath the ball too much, so then it goes up in the air instead of kind of coming over top of the ball to get down on it. But a really good look there for Belmont. And 25 minutes in, basically, or 25 minutes left, and that's our first shot.
It had been nothing before that. It's you gotta kind of pinch yourself a little bit.
Right. It's been a chess match throughout the middle of the field. Both teams just trying to feel the other one out and see where the spaces is. And again, a lot of credit to both of the back lines for both teams because they have just been rock solid and committed to their defensive game plan.
Calvert. Well, you have two teams on little opposite trajectories, especially last month. Belmont has been extremely strong, and they're looking for the statement win to help that RPI. Their biggest win was at Harvard earlier in the season. The Blosses. Looking for Wilson. Vasquez trying to stay onside. Slid across, but the defense for Belmont, Johnny on the spot again. And Mark draws the foul.
As Wilson's making that run going forward, Belmont does well to drop back and get numbers behind the ball. As we get another look at this foul here, just a late challenge there from Kondich and just swipes Mark's feet out from under him. But Wilson just did not have the support from his teammates that he needed. Again, Belmont does really well to drop back and provide extra coverage, but the teammates for Wilson have got to provide more support so he has more outlets in order to play the ball to and keep possession.
Brad Dildy, who's dealt with some injuries this year, but he's played in all the matches thus far. Hasn't been able to finish all of them. And Nielsen, who was the player of the week in the Missouri Valley a couple of weeks back. He's a dangerous player, the freshman from Denmark, number 18 in red. Clothier. Missouri bigger. Couldn't hang on to it in the corner. Looking at the series history, this is the 9th all-time meeting. It's all been Louisville so far, but they have not played since 2019, 6 years ago. And that was a 3-0 win here. Have not played at Belmont down in Nashville since 2005. Began play in 1996, which is ancient history for all the players on the field today. The 1900s, Casey.
I was like, some of them might not have even been born at that time.
Yeah, I like the chances of none of them. Key decision here, and it looks to be the first corner kick of the day for the Bruins. Now, this is what Belmont's been waiting for, Casey.
Jimmy Mark has been so good down this right side for Belmont, just getting involved in almost every single attack. And there he does so well to get the space on Agunlea and to send the service and to get the deflection for this set piece. I'm interested to see how Belmont's going to line up for this one.
David Costa thinks the game is going to come down to who can execute set pieces. Punched high by Svetnov. Nudged away by Parham, and Louisville and Alex Svetnov get the better of the Bruins on their first corner kick.
It's a nice service into the box, so a little bit of a bend there, forcing Svetnov to have to come up and make the save. If only they could have a player on him a bit tighter to kind of knock that one in, but a good set piece there.
You can imagine Belmont probably work that one up next time.
Oh, 100%.
Next time they get one. I mean, Svetnov, who's 6'2", that's the average height of the players he's going to be going up against in the box. Something bigger than him. Parham. Jack Lewis. Ogunlia and Quentin Wilson, foot caught in the turf monster.
And just back to those miscommunications for the Cards. This was the story of the game against the Tar Heels, just miscommunication, not being on the same page, playing the ball into space when the player wanted it at their feet and vice versa. They just have to make sure that they're on the same page, communicating better on the field so they don't make these silly errors.
And so much of that, Casey, is just the fine razor's edge of the synergy of a team that's played together. And
100%.
this Louisville team's so young, and this lineup is new.
It comes with just knowing your teammates and understanding, I know this player wants the ball here. If this player's body language is like this and they're looking to take off and want it to space, which it's learning how to read your teammates.
How long does that take?
It just, I mean, it takes time playing with them in game situations, because you can practice it all you want, but sometimes people react differently during games, and it's also having that communication with your teammates too of, hey, when you have the ball, this is what I'm looking to do. What are you wanting to do? And getting on the same page of like, oh, you want to play it to space? Cool. Well, then I'll look to do this, and kind of coming to those compromises.
Battle for the ball. By the way, on that long ball from Louisville that looked over everyone's head, this is going to the Cards. It rained here. It's been a very soggy most of the day here in Louisville, so the grass has some moisture in it, so those long passes can check up where they normally just continue to run.
And they didn't have to worry about watering the field too much before the game, because
No.
the rain definitely did that earlier as it was pouring.
Clothier pops it up to foul territory. That's a cross-sports reference there, Casey. And here comes some familiar faces for the Cardinals' regular starters. Bilal Kamara, the junior from France, and Michael Lee, the sophomore from Toronto. They really like Lee up the side. Kamara very crafty in the middle of the pitch. Both come on in off the bench today for the first time this season.
A little bit of a shift, too, as Quentin Wilson is going to be playing that number 9, that center forward position, as Michael Lee steps in to play out on the wing. So a bit of a change there as well.
So we were wondering where that, we mentioned earlier about KG Sukati not playing, being he was wearing the sweats today, or there's a question if he'd be available for selection or not. But this could be the opportunity for Louisville to try someone else out at the 9.
I think you just got to kind of rotate some players in and see what fits and who's hot also as well. Like who's the player that's on that when you need to get a goal, you can turn to them.
And Wilson has had some good moments. He had a brace earlier this year against IU Indianapolis. Kamara dumps it back to Lee. Now Lewis. Kamara. Snakes a pass in front that Belmont's ready for. And then Ogunlia muscles it away from Kuiper.
Kamara and Lee already coming on and having an immediate impact, lifting the energy offensively and trying to see if they can get some success down this left side for the Cards.
And that was bigger on the ball, forcing it away from Kamara. Steely. Now the poise from Nielsen. Out to Griffin Moore. I think to your point, Casey, just as Kamara and Lee, they've been playing together now for a couple years. You can see that dynamic already impacting this match. DeBlasis looking for one of his fellow countrymen, trying to get it to Lee. And the offsides flag was up again.
Again, I'm still not seeing enough dynamic movement from the attacking players for the Cards. They're all kind of standing and holding their hand out, like saying, play me to space, play me to space, but no one is making any sort of movement. So the Belmont defender just kind of standing next to him like, thanks for making my job really easy to mark you. And so the Cards, if they want to try to play a more forward front, like more aggressive going forward offensively, more direct, then they have got to have more movement up top and more from their attacking players.
And Belmont, they don't need any help defensively. They're already the best defensive team in the Missouri Valley. They average less goals per match than Louisville does, and Louisville's got a pretty impressive number. And I'm going to guess he's offsides.
Yeah, that was a pretty easy call there. Lots of credit to the back line for Belmont there to hold that line and to recognize that Wilson is making the run and the ball is going to go through, but trusting that your teammates around you are going to hold that line and not going to drop back, because sometimes it can be really tempting to want to drop back and track the player. But really, really well done from the back line.
The very dangerous freshman Jackson Stokes from Woodridge, Illinois, Naperville North High School. He is in. He scored 4 times, all off the bench in his 9 matches. But I think, to your point that you were saying, you have the familiarity of the center backs for Belmont, Griffin Moore and Dylan Steely. So they don't have to communicate to be able to communicate.
No, they know. They have played with each other for long enough that they understand what the other one is doing. They have trained week in and week out together, and so it is just kind of like second nature.
Here's Nielsen, shaped up nicely for Belmont. Stokes made a dangerous run, and pouncing up is Steely, the captain, and he lets fly. Save made by Svetnov. Giveaway a bit by Parham. They're looking for Zuri Bigger, but it'll roll away to Parker Forbes, the former Louisville Cardinal.
Love that attack there from Belmont. My one complaint would be after the shot, nobody crashed the goal. No one followed the shot. If they followed the shot, Svetnov does not handle it cleanly. It could have been an easy tap in for one of the Belmont attacking players. So you have to make sure that you follow every single shot.
It was almost like Belmont just assumed he was going to catch it.
Right, because here, look, after this shot goes off, Svetnov just pushes that one away, and all of the attacking players just kind of standing watching. You've got to follow the ball and crash the goal in those instances.
Here's Michael Lee. He's most dangerous in space. Put that ball too far ahead for Kamara.
Right idea, just too much power on it.
He's got to ease up on leg day.
Right, exactly.
Griffin Moore. Steely. Just had that brilliant look that was saved by Svetnov. A dozen minutes remain here in the first half. Very even match thus far. Louisville, no shots yet. Belmont's had a couple. Bilal Kamara being pushed wide by Ethan Schlegel. Yogunlia, Michael Lee, Jack Lewis, one of the sophomore captains for Louisville. Kamara, Lewis. Glancing blow, and that's going to carry.
One thing Belmont is doing really well is committing the numbers back defensively. They're getting everybody back and getting set in their shape, which is making it really difficult for Louisville to be able to break down that back line and find those spaces just to get shots.
There's your season comparison, and Belmont has been outshot on the year by 1 overall. In Louisville, they've outshot their opponents, but the goal difference has left something to be desired. You can see the shots so far tonight. Only 15 goals for Louisville's 14 and change. Man, look at that young fellow in the background. He's juggling up a storm.
Sign him.
I'm sure he's got eligibility.
Maybe a couple years.
Probably. Probably all of them. Speaking of which, Grant Calvert, he's one of the rare dinosaurs playing that's a 6th-year senior, still working off the COVID eligibility. Not many of them around. Belmont's happy he is. Parham blasts it out. Now, they've loved Calvert, just the professional approach he has. Really good job at helping to motivate and organize. And speaking of which, Brad Dildy, the captain, he's going to switch out on the ball, but Dildy was a 2-time league champion in his first collegiate stop at Charlotte, which is also David Costa, his head coach's alma mater. As the fresh legs come in for Belmont here at the end of the first half.
Both teams making some changes to try to get that final push before halftime.
Hit away by DeBlasis. Challenging for the ball is Daniel Greider, who got his first appearance of the year last game against North Carolina over the weekend. Greider, a bit of a live wire out there, brings a lot of energy. Looked the part of the freshman, and Parker Forbes is the one who's down. And Forbes, they've loved getting him. We mentioned that he was a key part of the Louisville last tournament team for Louisville in the match against Harvard. He dislocated his finger in the first half, came to the sideline, popped it back in, and he went back into the second half. No harm, no foul. Sanchez has it taken away from him by Lucas Walters. Transferred a couple years ago to Belmont from Indiana. Moore. A little wide, trying to find Luis Pena. Sanchez. Boring. Clothiers. Hacked on by Kaho'ali'i. Oh, what a find by Kaho'ali'i. It's in front. He goes down, but the flag was up.
It's a really, really nice play there. A beautiful through ball to find Bridge Bassi there, making that diagonal run, but he's just ever so slightly offsides, just takes off a second too soon, but a really good breakthrough there.
That might not even have been a full second, too. It was so close.
So close.
Trying to get this one up to Nate Medford. and they tackle each other.
Gotta appreciate the aggressiveness.
Mefford from redshirt junior from Cincinnati. Another Goliath, 6'3", on that front end of the defense, or of the offense. Look at Walters, who's also playing in the forward spot. He's 6'2". He's a player that Belmont wanted to get out of high school, but chose IU. At least first. Forbes flings it out of play. DeBlasis. Michael Lee. And the flag up again.
Another really, really close one. The back line for Belmont just has been so solid at holding their line and staying committed to where they're going to hold that line. And we'll get another look at it here as it, again, was very, very close with the timing there.
I think the angle also made it look worse. Just the camera angle.
Yes.
No fault to the camera operator, just how perspectives work. And the thing, but Louisville so rarely was offsides before this weekend. They had a few against North Carolina, and they've had a ton again today. It's Parham sends it out of bounds as A.J. Elliott, one of the Tennessee natives, playing for this Nashville team.
Well, Louisville's looking to play a little bit more direct and a little more over the top, which is leading to more of these offside calls. And also, Belmont has been very, very good at holding their line and not dropping with players.
Riley Clothier will throw it in, making his 50th career start today. A 4-year starter for Belmont. Tricky ball, has to get through a lot of trees there. Still in the wash. Clothier tries to feed it in. Bridge Boxy takes it off his backside. Sanchez, can he clear it? Not quite. He did get it out, though. It will be another corner kick opportunity for Belmont, and this chance to say what you were looking at earlier. They're going to body up Svetnov.
Yeah, put a person in front of him to kind of obstruct his view. But what I love about this attack from Belmont is just their willingness to keep the ball alive, just continuously cycling the ball back in, trying to find new options, and it leads to this awesome set piece.
And they do put both Jackson Stokes and Riley Clothier in Svetnov's vision, but they weren't able to connect that one to Dylan Steely. There'll be another corner kick.
It's a nice ball to the back post, but nicely dealt with by the Cards. If they don't make that header, there is someone standing wide open on the back post to head that one home.
Now the sun, just how the stadium works, is not as bad in Svetnov's eyes as it was earlier in the match. Here's A.J. Elliott making his 8th appearance of the year. Parham clears. Forbes plays it back to Griffin Moore. Forbes. Pena. 3 minutes to play in the first. And a foul on Kaho'ali'i.
Now it tries to come to those last few moments. These are some of the most difficult moments of a game because you're starting to think about, all right, well, halftime's just around the corner. So you're starting to mentally check out a little bit, and that's where mistakes can happen.
You can imagine just how deflating a last-minute goal would be for this Louisville team that's really had been in the battle so far this October and for most of September. Boring will head it out. There'll be a throw-in for Belmont. And for the Bruins, this end of the half is shaping up quite nicely.
Yeah, it's definitely been all Belmont so far in these final few moments. They've really been the team that has looked more settled in this match. They look like the team that has been more comfortable playing with the ball at their feet, moving the ball going forward, more comfortable in their attacking end.
Clothier flings it in. Bridge Bossy trying to find some clear grass. Another throw-in coming up. Clothier. Looking for Steely. Just wide.
Good service in the box. Steely just getting a little bit too much underneath the ball. And when he goes to head it, he kind of looks up at the balls. We'll get another look at this here. The ball comes in. It hits the top of his head, and therefore he's not able to get down on the ball and redirect it on frame.
Game of inches when you're trying to do the score on a header.
Very difficult. You got to get everything just right.
Bridge Bossy. Can Louisville get this just right? Michael Lee, just wide.
What a shift that would have been if Michael Lee was able to put that one on target. Good service to the box here, and a missed clearance. And Michael Lee just not able to get around it to tuck it into that upper 90 there.
Well, you saw Calvert, he closed down that lower angle.
I almost think Lee could have faked the shot, cut back, and then with his right foot tried to bend it towards the back post, but it's a great look on target.
And that's sight for sore eyes for Louisville. They'll, as we go to halftime, they'll have another half to see if they can capitalize on it. Meanwhile, Belmont comporting themselves quite well as an undefeated team's expected to do.
Yeah, it's definitely more Belmont in that first.
The majestic snowy mountains of Louisville, Kentucky. What a view. I'm kidding, those are clouds. Nothing our score at the half. When you look at Louisville, Casey Wilkinson, Whitfield, I'm Jonathan Mathis. What's Louisville need to do? Because that's a long drought.
That is a lot of time without scoring a goal, and that is definitely going to be frustrating for the players. What I need to see from the Cards is I need to see more dynamic movement offensively. Right now it's just too direct, too straight up and down. I need to see some diagonal runs, some players checking back. That movement up top is going to force Belmont to have to shift more defensively, and it's going to create more chances for the Cards. So more dynamic movement, and maybe we cannot add too many more minutes to that stat there.
Yeah, Ryan Quintos, that was a last-second heroic, very dramatic to get the draw against Kentucky, who is ranked. But to crack this Belmont defense and in that dry spell, some communication improvement for Louisville.
Yeah, when things aren't going your way or when you're not reading the game well, you've got to have more communication from each other. And if a player plays the ball in an area where maybe you don't want it, you got to tell them. Instead of just kind of getting mad and yelling, be like, hey, I want the ball here, and then maybe understand why they didn't play it there. Communication is so important on the field, especially when things aren't going your way. Increase the communication, and that's going to help make sure you're on the same page and not having those silly errors.
Kuiper leaves this one out wide for Jimmy Mark. And then Kaho'ali'i will feed it up to Michael Lee. We'll see if Louisville can capitalize on what you're talking about. Kaho'ali'i winged, and it'll be a foul called.
I think a very smart foul there from Steely, recognizing that Kaho'ali'i is about to release the ball out the right side. The Cards are trying to play quickly and advance the ball up the field quickly. So by fouling there, he slows the game down and allows his team to be able to drop back and get set.
Parham, a dribbler. It's in front. Jack Lewis. Parham. He was able to move Dildy. Headed on. Save made by Calvert. And that's going to be a corner kick chance for Louisville. They look sharper. The Cards do.
Much better from the Cards. The energy is increased. They're playing with more speed going forward offensively. This ball into the box is absolutely beautiful from Parham. And Michael Lee does well to get on the end of it, but a great save from Calvert to push that one away. Overall, great start for the Cards.
Leon Kondich will have this corner kick opportunity. He has 2 assists on the season. Michael Lee couldn't get it through the trees. Planting his roots down was Griffin Moore. DeBlasis. Michael Lee. Headed away. Again, that Belmont defense, they're in such sync with each other. Nielsen up the sideline. Jack Boring. Behind Kondich. Mark peeking up. Zooming is Kuiper. Easy for Svetnov.
The pace of the start of the second half is significantly faster than any points we had in the first half. The Cards have come out with a new energy about them, and they're looking to play a lot quicker.
Bridge Bossy trying to battle with the former Louisville Cardinal Parker Forbes. And Forbes gets the better of it. No stranger to wearing red, black, and white here at Lynn Soccer Stadium. Crafty there by Bigger. And a yellow card for Jimmy Mark. His second of the year.
Mark just a bit too aggressive there on the challenge. He is late there and just kind of slides in and doesn't really get the ball. So it's absolutely a yellow card for the late challenge. No question about it.
I thought he might have had the timing okay, but you're right. He got all Jack Lewis.
Yeah, he did.
No ball, all Jack Lewis. And probably late too. Parham. Left foot's this one, just shy of the goal. Calvert comes up with the angry words of encouragement.
Great little cut back here to set this shot up and tries to slip that one into the near post. It's a really, really good shot, but Calvert able to get down and push that one to safety. Parham has been involved in almost all the attacks so far for the Cards going forward in the second half.
Parham scored in his collegiate debut in just a bludgeoning of Southern Indiana. Ogunlia there trying to get it to him, and then he's pressed off the shoulders of Steely. So goal kick for Belmont.
Just to kind of give you how quick of a start this has been for the Cards. In the first half, they only had 2 shots with no shots on goal. Already here in the second half, they have 5 shots with 2 on goal. So already increasing the number of opportunities that they've been creating. So clearly whatever JMH said at halftime rang a bell with them.
See if it can result in goals too for these Cardinals that have had that long drought since their most recent goal in the final minute of their draw against then number 18 Kentucky. Kondich. Vasquez.
That's better from Vasquez there. He's checking back in to get the ball there, whereas in the first half he would have probably just stood on that back line. But by him checking back to receive the ball, it's allowed his team to be able to keep possession.
And there's a similar play by Parham as Koali'i tried to pass it through Griffin Moore to Vasquez. Throwing for Belmont. The Bruins trying to adjust to this new increased pace by Louisville. Zuri Bigger guides it out of bounds off of the Cardinals. Throw in for Belmont. Undefeated, but this is their biggest test of the year. Even with the losing stretch, Louisville still 23rd in the RPI. DeBlasis plays it on to Jack Lewis. Jack Boring. Ogunlea. TJ Kaho'ali'i. Parham working on Dildy. Jack Lewis. Ogunlea. Kaho'ali'i. Parham with the width. And Dildy with the denial.
Good patient build up there from the Cards, just trying to work it across the outside. Belmont is doing very well, though, staying compact in their shape, making it difficult for the Cards to go through the middle of the field.
Boring a bending ball. That mark will head out. Another throw in coming up. And that was almost a handball by DeBlasis. You saw Brock Kuiper asking for it as Noah DeBlasis slipped. And a collision in the box. It's Kondich.
This is a really tough collision as Kondich is coming in to try to win this ball, and it's just a hard hit there.
That was Steely, too. Didn't want to false identify. Dylan Steely, who missed the first handful of games, the redshirt senior from Hoover, Alabama. Great football town. He's made a name for himself at Belmont, being all conference. He wasn't ready for a starting role as a freshman. He had and he's been going to be attended to here. But he redshirted as a freshman, and then basically since he stepped on the field after that, an all conference level performer. That was a whale of a wallop between him and Kondich, both going for the ball.
Yeah, understandably shaken up there. Was kind of caught off guard as he's going to win the ball there. Just going to get some final little treatment there, but an opportunity for the teams to go to the bench and get some coaching points.
Yeah, this has been, as Steely's being attended to, this has been a renaissance season for Belmont. They were 5-8-4 a year ago. They only won one Missouri Valley game with 5 losses. They did not make the postseason tournament. They did have a better finish to the year. They won 3 of their last 4, but it was their first losing season since 2019, which was the last year that they played Louisville. And then Steely was the all-conference performer. And you see so far this year, through 10 matches, undefeated.
Looking to see if they can continue on, and they've been very, very good so far in this match. Defensively, they have been rock solid, which has made it difficult for the Cards. The next step for them would be how to break through offensively, because the Cards, again, are a team that is also very good defensively and difficult to score on, so they need to value their opportunities when they do get them and maybe utilize set pieces a little bit more to get those free looks on target.
Yeah, Louisville 5th in the ACC in goal against average. And the difference between Louisville's allowing 0.8 of a goal per game, so 0.8, and Belmont 0.6. So very similar between these two teams. Steely is going to have to wait to come back in. Grant Calvert began his collegiate journey at St. Louis. He's saved 82% of the shots against him so far this year. That's only 6 goals that have gotten by. Parker Forbes. Looking for Bigger. The give and go. Zuri Bigger has a chance. Save made by Svetnov.
I love the ball work there. The little give and goes from Belmont there at the top of the box. to end up to get that shot. It's a great little give and go. And Bigger does well to get the space. The ball gets caught underneath his feet, though, and when he goes to take that touch to get it out, it's just a little bit too far in front of him, which gives Svetnov the time to come off his line and gather that ball. But really, really good stuff from Belmont at the top of the box.
See Svetnov's numbers entering today, but I think what you're saying, that's what you want to see if you're a Louisville Cardinal fan, too.
100%.
Just enough mix of selfless and aggression. Kondic. Agunlia. DeBlasis. Trying to get to Parham, but Dildy was able to intercept it and play it out of bounds. Looking for Michael Lee. Too far in front of Michael Lee.
Right idea, just again, too much power on the service. I like that the Cards are looking to change the point of attack a little bit quicker than they were in the first half, which is allowing them to be able to release these players. But again, comes down to that final pass, just being a little bit sharper on it.
And you see the thumbs up there from Lee. Off the upper chest of Jack Boring. Crafty there from Nielsen. Bent in by Dildy. Can Mark get to it? Not quite. Ogunlia zoomed over to guide it out of bounds.
Good early service into the box to try to connect there, but just a little bit too far in front to be able to be successful on that. But I like the early service again from Belmont.
Feels like the frantic pace by Louisville's calmed down a little bit as there's a delay for Shengard for Parham, but Belmont's kind of seized the momentum here in the last 4 to 5 minutes.
They weathered the storm early on, and now we're starting to get back into this game and start to have an identity in the second half.
That's Mark in front of Svetnov. Forbes flicks it back in. Belmont controls. Corner kick chance here for Belmont as Nielsen was trying to get it in deep.
And here comes the importance of those set pieces. Again, against a team like Louisville, you're not going to get a ton of solid looks on target, as Belmont has 3 shots with 2 of those on goal so far in this match. So they need to see if here they can get a really good service into the box and force Svetnov to have to make a spectacular save to keep this one level.
Got a couple 6'5" players in Bigger and Kuiper. They go far post. They sailed over Steely.
A little bit of a wasted opportunity there for Belmont. When you have so much height, I understand you want to try to lift it up, but maybe just got a little bit too much underneath it to try to find his teammates there in the box.
There's the difference for Louisville this year between non-conference and ACC play. They scored once, and it was enough against #1 Stanford. That's the one win. Non-conference, the only draw was a couple weeks ago in the Battle of the Bluegrass against Kentucky.
We talk week in and week out about how difficult the ACC is, and the Cards have struggled with being able to find goals, because when you play in the ACC, you're playing against top 25 teams every single week, and so it's been a difficult go of it for the Cards so far.
ACC with the most top 25 teams of any conference this week. That doesn't even include the ones that received votes. Collision with Bridge Bossy and Steely, both on the ball. Jack Boring tries to guide him with the sideline. Vasquez, you'd imagine he's offsides. Won't matter because Calvert has it. There's the ACC teams in the poll.
And like you said, that's not even including the teams that are getting votes to be in the top 25.
And Notre Dame, North Carolina. NC State, which is 10th. They're in 9th place in the ACC right now.
Which is crazy.
Vasquez not able to get a full strike off his noggin. Just went awry. Speaking of crazy, if he was able to connect on this place would have gone ballistic.
That would have been a really nice goal. It's a great ball in, but it's just a smidge too far out in front of Vasquez to be able to get the power and to redirect it like he needs to get it on target. But love that look from the Cards and love the effort. Chase Vasquez putting himself in better positions in this half to be successful.
His last goal was 4 minutes into the win at Ohio State on September 9th. Schlegel. Moore. Parham. Kondich. Zooming in is bigger. Jack Lewis. Michael Lee. Stabs ahead. Leon Kondich. And in the way was Mark. And it's going to be a corner kick. I thought Belmont might have got, I thought he might have got that off of Kondich. That's not how our referee Brandon Marion saw it, though.
Good stuff from the Cards, so on the build-up. I like the movement from Michael Lee. When Kondich has the ball, he tries to make this diagonal run. He recognizes that that's not on, recycles his run, pulls out wide, and that's what helps lead to this attack because he gives a second look, a second option to release.
Bridge Bossy feeds it for DeBlasis. Played back to Koali'i. Now Jack Lewis, everybody able to get back on side. But headed away that time by Clothier. And deftly handled by Mark. Koali'i. Effectively passed it to himself. A tailing pass from Kondich. Parham, who had to peel back, blast that one off the upper arm of Nielsen. Dildy. Nielsen. And the throw-in is granted to Belmont.
The energy going forward for the Cards is so much better, and that's what's led to a lot of these chances. Here's a look at that corner kick again. It's a great ball to the back post, and Noah DeBlasis does well to get down on it, but no one is there to help support him, and Belmont does well to clear that one away.
Was Ogunlia too deep on it, or is it just no one there behind him?
Just no one's there behind him, and when he heads it down, I think Belmont does really well to step in and win that one and to not allow a white jersey to be able to get a free look on target.
Parham. Dildy shadowing Boring. Lewis feeds it out wide for Lee. Vasquez asking for it. Can he stay on side? It doesn't matter. Steely stabs it away. Crafty by Dylan Steely. Jack Boring zooms in. They begin their attack again from the left. Boring. Easy pickings.
Bit ambitious there from Jack Boring. Got to appreciate the effort, but at the same time, too, shooting from that distance is going to have to be an absolute perfect shot in order to beat a goalkeeper like Grant Calvert. It'd be better to maybe see if you can cycle the ball back through, continue to work it from side to side.
Probably help if you're Cristiano Ronaldo.
Maybe. You know, it might make a little bit of a difference.
Clothier taking a seat. Riley Clothier. Really one of those just great leaders of the team. Not a captain, but a leader nevertheless, from just outside Nashville and Murfreesboro.
It looks like he's just going to kind of see himself off the field as the training staff is running out to support him. But a good opportunity for those, again, about halfway, almost halfway through the second half to get those coaching points.
You know, Belmont, this is the second team from Louisville that they played this year. They played Bellarmine on September 2nd. That was a 1-1 draw. They're gonna run out of Louisville teams, though.
They are.
They had their battle of Nashville against Lipscomb at the end of September. There's a series history again. Louisville has not lost or been drawed against. They're perfect 5-0 at home. Last meeting, though, was 6 years ago. That was a 5-0 victory as Clothier will walk off under his own power. Bruins, though, different dynamic. This is the best season in program history, at least through 10 games. And they're coming off of a pretty dominant win against Bowling Green, who's been struggling so far this year. But that was a 4-1 win, including the 4th goal of the year for Jackson Stokes and a hard-earned first goal of the year against Jimmy Mark. And they are currently one of just 14 remaining unbeaten teams in Division I.
That's so awesome and so difficult to do with the amount of talent and difficult teams there are out there. That is a huge, huge feat.
2 of those other 14 are from the ACC, and number 7 Duke and number 10 NC State. That's the company Belmont's been keeping so far this year. And still, for the last 4.5 matches now, if you include this one, they've allowed 8 shots on goal between them.
Well, currently right now, Belmont playing a man down until they decide if they're going to make a change or if Clothier is going to be able to continue on.
It looks like he's wanting to come back on, and he will. He just waved on. Delayed whistle as Parham ran through Brad Dildy, the senior from San Antonio, Texas. And there's Clothier.
To me, the longer this game stays level, the more that plays into favor for Belmont. I think if you're Belmont and you're able to continue to keep this game level, it's only going to help boost your confidence and to maybe help you find that breakthrough moment. They're also a very veteran team.
Vasquez, a jersey pull. Can he get his foot on the ball? No. And the offsides flag was up. I don't know, Casey.
I think it's a foul, and I'm thinking it's going to have to be a card because it's denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, or dog so. So it should be a
would the offsides negate
red card. Well, there's not offsides. It should be a red card. Red. Yeah, it should be a red card.
You're right. Straight red given, and we'll go to review to see if it stands.
Now they're going to make sure they get this one right, but the reason for the red card is he grabs the jersey and pulls him back. That's denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity as Chase Vasquez is on one-on-one with the keeper. You can't do that. So it is going to be a red card if the review holds, which I'm pretty sure it will because it was pretty obvious.
Well, there was Brandon Marion. He told David Costa what he was reviewing, and David Costa had a look of resignation on his face.
Yes, here we're going to get a look at this just to make sure that everything is correct. The last thing we want to do is to, give the card to the wrong player and make sure that we get the call correct.
That's going to be hard to overturn. The pass from Jack Lewis. And Griffin Moore, their tremendous center back, the hand on the middle of the jersey of Vasquez.
Yeah, I think to me it's a pretty quick review. It's pretty obvious right there. But just got to make sure you get it right because, again, it is a big call. It's a big decision and a huge loss for Belmont.
So the red card stands for Griffin Moore. His first red of the year. Belmont's had a red before. It was Jimmy Mark.
And they're just
that's a long walk.
Yeah. Making his way back into the locker room. Very, very, very unfortunate for Belmont to not only lose Griffin Moore, but to have to go down to 10 men because they have just been so good defensively.
And even while losing a man, now they have to defend here in a juncture. They don't have enough time to restructure anything.
Yeah, to bring on a sub to help solidify that back line.
Is this room to shoot? Is he looking to find a header?
It could be a shot. It could be a shot, but I think you'd have more success playing a service into the box just with the angle. If you were a left-footed player, it would suit for a shot better for a left-footed player, so I think this should be
It's a shot and a save. I was going to say Agunlia was on the far post side. There'll be a throw-in for Louisville. And 25 minutes to go. If Belmont can survive this, it would be show-stopping. Louisville asking for a handball on Dildy. Kaho'ali'i. The Bruins playing down a man. 65th minute red card for Griffin Moore. Louisville played against a man-down team earlier this year. It was Southern Indiana. It happened right in the beginning of the match, and Louisville poured it on. Parham scored in that match. Here's Jimmy Mark. He's got a crowd of white shirts running with him. He's got a little bit of help. Trying to play through Michael Lee. Agunlia plants his feet and takes it away from him.
Jimmy Mark has been so good for Belmont. If we were voting for man of the match for Belmont, he would definitely have my vote. He has just been so dynamic getting forward offensively, so aggressive, and just has played extremely well in helping to create their attacks going forward.
David Costa said that he is the best flanking defending, or he's the best defending flank player he's ever seen. So out there on the wing. Michael Lee, a blast that didn't bend.
And it looks like Belmont not really making any substitution changes, but a little bit of some formation shifts as Colthier's shifted into the center back and Dildy has dropped back to kind of fill the outside back role. So they've kept their four back, but losing kind of one of their attacking players as they've had to shift a little bit to make sure that they keep the integrity of their defensive shape.
Yeah, that was Kaho'ali'i had bigger by the waist. And to your point, Clothier, he has played between center back and full back so far his career. He's gone inside, he's gone outside. So moving inside is not something he's unaccustomed to. And it's Clothier waiting for this free kick. Ogunlia gets his head on it.
I feel like now more than ever, set pieces are going to be critical for Belmont.
I get a pseudo one here. put in Clothier, who there's an art to those long throw-ins.
Well, and they're definitely going to be slowing down those restarts as well because, again, a draw for sure plays into their favor, especially now being a man down. So they're going to try to slow down those restarts, take advantage of the set pieces.
Straight up by Steely. Bigger. Can they put it on frame? That one askew. That caught Brock Kuiper in just no man's land.
Unfortunate that he had his back to goal because there were so many white shirts around him. If maybe he had time to face off, he could have had a look on target there, but nice defending there from Louisville.
I think it was DeBlasis maybe who had him boxed out, unable to just turn around and fire. Belmont down a man, trying to put a huge threat into Louisville. Headed out by Boring. Chop back in. Svetnov. How aggressive will Louisville be?
I think if you're Louisville, you have to be aggressive. You have to begin to pick up the pace a little bit more.
And not the crispest. Jack Lewis. Lays one out to Michael Lee. His former teammate, Parker Forbes, between him and goal. Kondich sailed it.
Decent look there from Leon Kondich, just getting underneath it entirely too much to lift it over the goal. If you're going to have a shot from there, you've got to make sure that you get all technical parts right. And here he just doesn't get it right. He's leaning back way too much on that shot, which also forces it to go too high. He needs to make sure that he gets his chest over top of the ball, strikes through the ball, so that way he has a chance to get it on target.
Inside 20 minutes to play. Belmont down a man. Griffin Moore snagged the collar of Chase Vasquez's jersey as he had a breakaway chance for goal. And the question for Louisville, can they capitalize on that moment? In effect, trying to rescue their season 2, which has just been teetering for the last month. Paul Nielsen. Kaho'ali'i. Bridge Bossy. Lewis. Kondich. Lee. It's there. Bridge Bossy not able to head it in.
Bridge Boss is going to see that one in his nightmares tonight because it was right on the goal line for him there. A good little scooped ball in. It takes a nice deflection there and just a step too far ahead from Elijah Bridge Bossy to get that one on target.
A throw in for Louisville.
The Cards try to take that set piece quickly there and just did not get the service in the box that they needed.
Parham. Heady play by Brad Dildy. He doinked that right off the freshman from Smyrna, Georgia. Not a time for Louisville to take their foot off the gas, Casey.
No, they definitely have to make sure they continue to keep that pressure on and trying to pick up the pace a little bit more.
Ogunlea. Lewis. Parham. Firm touch. And the late tackle by Nielsen.
Yeah, it's going to be a yellow card there for that late challenge because Parham gets a really good first touch here around him, and then Nielsen just comes in and completely swipes his legs out from under him. Absolutely a foul, and no question about it, a yellow card.
3 cards today, all have gone against Belmont. 2 yellows, and then the big one in the 65th, the red against Griffin Moore. And Parham slow to arise.
Well, I think it's funny. He tried to get up, and then Jack Lewis comes over and pushes him down. Maybe a little bit of a tactic there.
Wait there, lad.
Like, no, sit back down. Sit back down, because we need a minute.
I don't don't get up until you're 110%.
Don't get up yet. Get looked at. Make sure you're okay. It also gives time to maybe draw up a little bit of a fancy set piece here. Get some coaching points quickly from JMH. Belmont also an opportunity to take a breath and see if they can figure out how to regroup. This is the first big stop since going down a man, so kind of getting that chance now to figure things out and what they need to do.
Yeah, Alex Vetnov taking this time to. It's been long enough that he was able to mosey on over.
Making sure he's staying loose and active, you know.
17 minutes, 39 seconds. Casey Whitfield, how do you handle it if you're Louisville? Where do you want to attack after seeing what we've seen so far from most of this match?
I think you got to continue to use the wings. That's where they've seen most of their success, is going down the sidelines and looking for services into the box. Also, if you continue to go down the wings, it's going to force Belmont to have to push players out wide to help cover those spaces, which then might open up some gaps in the middle of the field to be able to slip players through like they have been wanting to do throughout the match. So I think just trying to find the balance between playing out wide to pull the players wide, but then also still having that dynamic movement in the middle of the field.
In comes Bilal Kamara. Out goes Nick Parham. Now that move might have was already in the offering, but it also means that Louisville can be at full strength on this throw-in. For Belmont, even though they're down a man, being able to move in Riley Clothier, huge for them. They're not losing on any experience. By throwing, I mean free kick. Driven far post. Ogunlia not able to get it cleanly.
What a service. Love that ball into the box from Leon Kondic. Just this low-driven, bending ball to try to find his teammate. It's a really, really good service. Ogunlia just not able to get the clean contact on it to redirect it on frame, but I like that service.
A 6'2" grad student from Stillwell, Kansas, Grant Calvert. Lewis plays it off the back of the head of Bigger. Ogunlia. DeBlasis. Spins it out to Michael Lee. Former Cardinal Forbes defending, and that one easier for Calvert. Close down that low angle.
Good little foot skills there for Michael Lee on that left side. Just couldn't pull the service far enough away from Calvert to find his two runners inside the box.
Boring to DeBlasis. Out to Ogunlia. Kamara begging for it on the complete opposite end of the pitch. Kondic, a little behind him. Bridge Bossi, who's moved back into the midfield. DeBlasis. Boring. Run by Kaho'ali'i. Good tackle, though, by Dildy. Kaho'ali'i finds it on the inline. That was almost a handball and a strike wide.
What a moment there for the Cards. A great aggressive effort here from Kaho'ali'i to cut the ball back. Sends a good service into the box. Nice little inadvertent layoff there. Just not able to get that shot on target, but what a good look there.
That was a heart stopper if you're Grant Calvert.
100%. You're also hoping it doesn't take a deflection or something like that.
Foul on Jack Boring as Ethan Schlegel, who's really had to work hard to earn his minutes. He's close to a 90-minute player now. He had a broken foot last year Ankle injury the year before that. Redshirted as a freshman. Now playing big minutes as a redshirt junior. Fouls mostly against Louisville. Cards mostly against Belmont. Quarter hour remaining. The slight touch to Nielsen. Kamara flicks it. Schlegel heads it. Kondich finds Forbes. A year ago, that would have been a heck of a pass. Lewis. Koali'i. Spinning the ball for Vasquez. A race on with the Belmont captain. Vasquez not able to control.
Vasquez is putting himself, like I said earlier, in much better positions to be able to find the ball and to be able to find those breakthroughs that the Cards need from him.
Jack Boring. TJ Kaho'ali'i. A flick to Jack Lewis. From one sophomore captain to the other. Kondich trying to give it to Vasquez. That's going to be a foul on Chase Vasquez.
Unfortunate from Vasquez that it was a foul there. Both players going shoulder to shoulder, and Vasquez just loses his footing here. It's another good little through ball to try to break him through, but you see both players battling for the ball there. Vasquez just losing his feet and then ends up fouling on that play. But I like the better movement from the Cards offensively.
That's almost like Dylan Steele is just marking Vasquez, too.
I mean, you have to stay, one-on-one on him to make sure he doesn't find any breakthroughs.
Jackson Stokes, a goal-scoring threat is on. Nate Mefford, the defender, also. He's been playing defender listed, but he plays up in the offense. I wonder maybe this young man, Jackson Stokes, who keeps getting better each week, could he have a moment? Quentin Wilson will come in for Vasquez. Wonder if this is a permanent move for the rest of the game or if Vasquez is just getting a breather.
Well, there haven't been a whole lot of changes in the second half as both teams not looking to their bench a ton and trying to play with the players they have out here as we see these few changes, maybe trying to get some fresh legs for these final 13 minutes.
This felt like a very pro game in that sense for the second half. I was going to say, you got 11, you're playing with the 11, but Belmont playing a man down. Bilal Kamara. Wilson begging for it. He had to break off his run. Flag down. Easy pickings for Calvert. That cross too close to the goal's face.
Yeah, I don't think that's the service that Quentin Wilson really wanted to send into the box there. He just gets underneath it a bit too much and isn't able to get the power on it that he needs to find his teammates there in the box.
Looked like it fluttered when he was trying to strike it to Kondich. Schlegel making it difficult for Kamara, and deft footwork by Schlegel, earning that throw in.
And again, you're going to see Belmont starting to slow down these set pieces because the draw definitely plays in their favor.
Hold up, everybody. There's our referee blowing the play dead or stopping the clock. Nudged on to Jackson Stokes, the freshman from Illinois, so dangerous. Crosses a ball, Smetnov.
A good service in the box there from Stokes. It's just difficult to commit a lot of numbers forward given that you have to make sure that you have your numbers back defensively. So just not really many runners in the box there to really provide the support that Stokes needed on that service.
DeBlasis. Rejbasi. Ogunlia. Lewis. Boring. Stokes played it off Kaho'ali'i, too.
Good, patient defending there for Belmont, just forcing Louisville to have to play down that outside. It was a bit of a missed pass there from Jack Boring, just not getting the power on it that it needed to be able to reach Kaho'ali'i on that right side, which allowed the defense to be able to step in and win that ball.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time for Kaho'ali'i.
Yes.
Ball awarded to Louisville. I have to wonder for these Cardinals that have had such a tough sledding of late, if they get a goal, if that just opens the floodgates for them on this road trip upcoming.
You gotta imagine it's gonna instill some confidence back in them, because when things don't go your way, when you have the killer start that you have to the season and then just kind of fall off a little bit, it does become a bit of a mental game in trying to overcome that mental barrier. So you have to think, if they were able to get a goal in this match, that is definitely going to help boost their confidence as they have a very difficult road trip up ahead.
Out to Blacksburg on Saturday, to Wake Forest, to Belmont's rival Lipscomb, then home against Evansville, the leader in the Missouri Valley. And you've seen Belmont's schedule too. Still down a man.
This is a really good set piece opportunity for them, though. It's not in an area where you would see necessarily a shot coming in, but a really good service in the box. And then given the height of many of the players for Belmont, you got to imagine that you're looking to some of those big targets in the box to try to put this one on frame and kind of capture the win.
It would be a gut punch for the Cards if Belmont can capitalize. Dildy bends it wide. Ogunlia mostly clears it. Now he does. Lee was running up ahead and onside. Here's Parham, the speedster, boxed out by Schlegel. And a foul called on Quentin Wilson.
Wilson just a bit too aggressive on there. It's a nice defensive play from Belmont just to step in, establish the position, and forced the attack, the Cardinal to have to go through him in order to get the ball. So really, really smart play there from Belmont.
What a play there by Ethan Schlegel too, just to slow him up. We mentioned all the things he had to go through to be able to play his redshirt junior year. Bilal Kamara with Jackson Stokes on him. A little nudge from Bigger, and it will be a throw in for Louisville, or a free kick for Louisville. 8 minutes to play. Michael Lee. Kondich. Stabbed ahead almost to Quentin Wilson. Ball up to Bigger. Zuri tried to switch it up on Boring. Fades it. Svetnov.
Decent look there from Zuri. Bigger, just trying to hold up play, give his teammates time to come up and support him. Just doesn't get the service right in to connect.
Maybe a late-minute reinforcement and getting ready to come in for Louisville, and Fernando Sanchez, who's seen his playing time increase the last couple matches. Lewis. Kamara. Crosses it in, headed on, save made! Belmont hasn't cleared it, and they do. What a play by Calvert. Here's Marks. Jimmy Marks. And a foul called.
End-to-end action here as we get a look back at this beautiful header from Noah DeBlasis, who has moved up the field a little bit. He does so well to get around the defender and get contact on it, but what a save from Grant Calvert coming back across his goal face to have to get down quickly and push that one away. It's really, really good stuff.
There's less than 6.5 minutes to play. Walters in for Belmont. Sanchez in for Louisville. For Jack Lewis.
The Cards arguing that there should have been a handball on this last play, and the referee is going to go have a look at it. They're going to take a look to see if there was a handball. That was on the play when Noah DeBlasis had the nice header there. It was a great save from Grant Calvert.
Well, if it's a header in the box, then...
They're saying when it deflected off, if it hit the hand of a Belmont player, and that is what they're going to look. If that's the case, it will be a penalty. So here we're going to get a look at it.
It'd be the first penalty of the year for Louisville.
So look, there's the save. Right here is where they're thinking that it could be a handball. And his arm is out and extended, but it's one of those gray areas where I could see it maybe be given, but it would be a bit harsh because he's trying to get up here and he really can't do much about it.
That's off his chest. And the dramatic irony of this is that's former Louisville player Parker Forbes.
Right. I don't know if there is enough there to give it, but it is very, very difficult to see.
So is that arm or upper body?
I'm glad I don't have to make that decision.
If it's the chest.
If it's the chest,
then
it's
all
good
clean.
to go. It's all clean. It'll be free. We're getting ready to get the decision here from the official.
Telling John Michael Hayden.
I think it'd be a bit harsh if you give it.
And a yellow for John Michael
Yeah.
Hayden. I'll tell you why.
He doesn't like the call.
Because the call is standing.
Yeah, I think that is the right decision. I don't think that Parker Forbes had time to get his arm out of the way. He's trying to stand up. The ball just comes to him. And I don't think he really had time to move his arm out of the way. I think it ultimately is the right call. Unfortunate for the Cards because I think it would have led to their breakthrough moment, but it is the right decision.
It still might. Sanchez to Kaho'ali'i. Kamara. They've had success going this combination, but that pesky Jackson Stokes making a name for himself here late in this match. Kamara. Kaho'ali'i snakes one to Wilson. It's behind him. And a throw in for Louisville. Hold up now, everybody.
Just having a little conversation there with Wilson. Something to note, there has been a bit of a formation shift for the Cards as Agunlea has shifted and is like the sole center back. Jack Boring is playing out on the right, and they're kind of have a makeshift there on the left with Bridge Bassi playing as a left back almost. So they're really trying to push those players going forward. They have DeBlasis staying up top. They're trying to overpower that attacking area.
And they have Ogunlea on the back post for Kondic. Kamar's a short option. Kondic will bound it. It's in the wash. It's played out by Dildy. Bridge Bassi will let it roll out of bounds.
JMH playing ball boy to help get his team going. Just 5 minutes left for them to find that game winner.
Walters. A one-man fast break. Sanchez tries to tackle it away. It is off of Sanchez. So it'll be a throw-in for Belmont, and they'll be able to take off 15, 20 seconds here.
Yeah, definitely going to slow the game down. You're going to see Belmont not willing to maybe commit as many numbers going forward as Louisville is, as they're trying to preserve that lead, especially as the Cards are pushing almost every single player that they have up offensively.
Steelies finds Boring. Long ball. DeBlas is trying to line it up. Wilson battles in. Bilal Kamara. Sanchez. Fernando Sanchez, a sophomore from Miami. 4 minutes to play. Headed high. Wilson can't retrieve it.
Good ball into the box, just again getting underneath that header. That has been the difficulty for both of these teams when they've had headers in the box, is not being able to get up and get down on the ball, just getting too much underneath it, so it's always going to be going up. There's not going to be any power or any placement on the header.
Calvert will wait as long as he can. The moment's now. Under 3.5 to play. A tailing ball out of bounds. But Kaho'ali'i had his back on Jackson Stokes, or his hands on his back.
And that's going to be a call every single time. You cannot put your hands in the back of the player, especially when you were literally right in front of the referee. They're going to call that every single time.
I don't think he pushed him, but the optics of it.
There was enough contact there for the fourth official there to see it.
Kamara. And that's Louisville ball.
The Cards are no stranger, though, to late heroics.
No, their last goal again in the final minute against Kentucky to get a draw against the Wildcats. Could they get one here to get a win against the Bruins? Stokes wings Boring. Quickly back in play. DeBlasis out wide to Kamara. Kamara fades one. Back post, not able to get there. Michael Lee. And Forbes plays it up to Walters. The combination to Mefford. Back to Walters. He's got Stokes on the near side. He finds Jackson Stokes. Schlegel. Sniped away by Michael Lee. Fernando Sanchez. Races on. DeBlasis not able to get on the end of it. Calvert came offline.
Great run from Noah DeBlasis there, just trying to split the center backs, but really good reading there from Grant Calvert to come off of his line and collect that one. It was a very, very good play from the goalkeeper.
And you can measure it now in seconds. There are 80 left. Taken off his foot by Mefford. Stokes, backside. Walters trying to chase it down. He might just take it to the corner now. 60 seconds left. Svetnov, last chance for the Louisville Cardinals. Svetnov. "30 seconds for Louisville and their 9th win against Belmont. Kondic, it's deflected, it's out of bounds. It's a corner. They have to hurry, Louisville does.
They got to get a service into the box.
Kondic, Michael Lee, Sanchez, the countdown's on. Belmont down a man since the 65th minute. Will hold on for a crucial draw. There's a conversation of a foul, but I don't think it's going to change the final result.